Hey everyone, it's Zach with Z Squared Gaming. I have a new pickup video here for you. This is for the month of November, and if you did watch my last video, um, I did mention that the previous video before that was the wrong month, but anyway, the reason I'm bringing that up is that some of the stuff will be while I was on vacation over on the East Coast in both Virginia and New York. I was visiting some family out there. The family in New York really enjoys thrifting, so of course we went out many times. There were a couple of days where that's all that we did was just go out thrifting. Drove all around. We were all on Long Island together. Both my parents and my uncle is who we were seeing and staying with, and so we had quite a fun time there. I did pick up quite a lot of stuff. It's kind of fun because the amount of stuff that both my parents, or actually I should say my dad, picked up and I picked up, we ended up having to ship. We had boxes that my uncle had kept that we then shipped back to our houses. My dad had 3 boxes, pretty good sized boxes, and I had 2. And I take that back. I think my dad had 4 decent sized boxes, and then another box for just some shoes, if I remember correctly. So he had a total of 5. I had a total of 2. So my dad picked up a lot more than I did, but I'll just get right into it then. Of course, I'll start off with the games that I already have in the collection that I just picked up doubles for resale to further along my collection. Start off with, let's see here, PlayStation. I have a couple of really good games here that I did pick up here in Minnesota that you'll see, and I will talk about them a little bit when I get there. First one is, this was just a game that was in another case, another game that, so there's essentially 2 games in the case itself. NFL Game Day 2001, so this one is loose. So I do sometimes see that in just sometimes a little bonus. Of course, with this being a sports game, it's not terribly expensive or anything like that. But then the next 2 original PlayStation games I did pick up at a Goodwill. They were in along with all the CDs. As everybody knows that, of course, the PS1 games came in cases that look like CDs, just the normal, cases that look like CDs. And I can't remember the actual name of them, but the second one is actually a really good game, which was pretty crazy to pick up at a Goodwill for $1.49 plus tax here in Minnesota. So first one off, which isn't a terrible game, it's actually made my money back and then some. First one here is Medal of Honor. That's complete. In fact, that one might have been the one that had the Game Day 2001 in it, which was kind of strange with it being a sports title. But I think sometimes when the processors at Goodwills, when they get a loose disc with some other games, they just kind of throw it all in the same case. At least that's what I think. Of course, I've never been back there and see what it actually looks like and what happens there, but I just have a feeling that that's what they do, just kind of give it as a bonus for whoever's buying the other game itself. So on to the more expensive one. I did throw this up on Instagram, so if you are following me there, you probably did see that I did pick this up. Pretty crazy. It is Dino Crisis, and it is with the Resident Evil 3 demo disc. Both the discs are in there, so that's pretty sweet. I was expecting that one of the discs was going to be not in there just because of it being in a Goodwill, but I thought that was pretty sweet pickup, and so that's, with it being at the beginning here, it is a double. Unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately, but I do already have this version of it. I don't have the version without the demo disc, but certainly a good thing to have a double of as far as the Dino Crisis, but pretty cool to find at a Goodwill, and so I will be selling that. As I was kind of looking at condition of that, I did have a second copy in my collection of that same thing, and the second copy didn't have a manual, so as trying to get some money back type of thing, I saw that, and I actually put that up on eBay, so it quite hasn't sold. I know it's kind of hard to sell a game without the manual, but it has everything else except for the manual. So unfortunately that just hasn't sold yet, but it just is the case. Continuing on here, I have, looks like, one PlayStation 2 game, and that is Jeopardy! I think a couple of times when I was out thrifting in New York, I think Jeopardy! I thought was something that I needed for my collection, but I just didn't look it up, and it was a good price, so I just picked it up. And I figured with, oh, now I'm having a brain fart. Alex Trebek passing away, I wonder if maybe Jeopardy! Games would maybe go up a little bit in price type of thing, but I don't think it really has. But anyway, I'll just continue on here. Some PlayStation 3 games, Mod Nation Racers, Sniper 2 Ghost Warrior, WWF or E, I can't recall 2K14, SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Confrontation. Believe all of these PS3 games so far I did pick up at a Family Pathways. They every so often will do what they call a road trip, and as you go to all the different stores, all the Family Pathways around here in the Twin Cities, in Minnesota, you get a percentage off as you go along that road trip. So the first store you get, I think, like 5% off, then the next store is 10% off, and so on and so forth. These games I picked up at one of the last Family Pathways that I stopped at, so I got it for either 45 or 50% off, so it was actually good deals. And then of course I can sell them to further along the collection. Next one here is Gran Turismo 5 Prologue and Heroes Over Europe. I believe I picked this one up at a Another Man's Treasure, if I remember correctly. Ghost Recon 2 Advanced Warfare. Say Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 2. And then Call of Duty Black Ops. That's something that everybody's always looking for, because I think they want to play the, if I remember correctly, is this the one with the zombies? Yeah, one of them with the zombies. And then I did pick up 2 PlayStation 5 games. I can't recall if these, like the ones that are going into the collection, are in this video, or if I picked these up previously. But first one here is Snow Park Snow Day. I know I did pick up a couple of these. I think one of them would have been on the PlayStation 5, and then I think I picked up the copy for the Switch as well. So I'm guessing that this is just another one of those. Likely that it was on clearance at a Walmart or a Target or something like that. Likely a Walmart. That's they seem to put their games on clearance a lot more than Targets. But the last one here is Saints Row. And that one might be loose in the case. I know there is a trick to kind of get some of those back in on the spindle itself, but I think I've tried PlayStation 5s before. They're a little bit harder to get back seated on there. But anyway, going on here to the original Nintendo, along with that, those PlayStation 3 games that I mentioned, the same Family Pathways had a Top Gun: The Second Mission for the original NES. And then next one here is Planes on the 3DS. Can't quite remember where I picked that one up. And then a bunch of Wii games here. I think this one has a little bit of value, not terrible, but nice to kind of have. Real Heroes Firefighter. Then I have Press Your Luck. Michael Jackson, The Experience. I know these typically hold some good value. Not crazy expensive or anything like that. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. Guitar Hero World Tour. Those usually do pretty well. And then Knight's Journey of Dreams. A little dirty case there that I need to clean up. That's the Island Sports Party Summer Sports 2. Looks like a loose copy of Wii Sports, which is always a good one to pick up. And the last one here is Vegas Party. Alright, and getting on to, it looks like I have one Wii U game, which, if I remember correctly, I did pick up in New York on that family trip that I mentioned earlier. Nothing crazy or anything like that, but always nice to have, and this one is Just Dance 2014. Did pick up a couple of extra Switch games. Just like one of the earlier games, these might be in the same video as going into my collection, and then these are just extras. Samba de Amigo, Party Central. I think I remember this from a different video, so that must have been just another clearance item that I picked up for kind of future trade bait type of thing is sometimes what I do. Throw some of these ones, or I also do sometimes give them to my brother and their family for Christmas presents or birthdays type of thing. So last one here is Cobra Kai 2 Dojo's Rising. I haven't quite got into watching those Cobra Kai show. I believe it's on Netflix, so maybe one time I'll kind of sit down and get into that. So all right, getting into Xbox. So these are, of course, continuing on my doubles. Platinum hits for Star Wars Battlefront 2. For the 360, I have Call of Juarez Bound in Blood. I did pick up a premium edition Spec Ops The Line. I know this one really shot up for a while in price, but now it's kind of come back down again. Got a limited edition Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Looks like some sports titles, or maybe a sports title. Major League Baseball 2K10. Got BioShock 2. Not quite sure where I picked up these 360 games. Can't quite remember on those. Grand Theft Auto 4, Platinum hits. Stuntman Ignition. And it looks like Fable 3, which is sealed. And I think sometimes, yeah, this is a not for resale edition. This one I did pick up on my trip out east, and so I figured if anything this would be just a good one to keep for future, hopefully value going up type of thing. And the last two here for the original Xbox, Skylanders Swap Force. I did pick up this up in New York as well. I picked up this with a bunch of Portals and a bunch of Skylanders, and so I usually don't show the Skylanders that I pick up just because it's usually a lot and it's just not anybody's very interested in Skylanders. I at some point should go through all my Skylanders and try to sell off all my doubles just to clear up some space, and then also get some of my money back. I know some Skylanders can be worth something, and so maybe I'd throw those up on eBay, of course, but just haven't gotten around to do that. And then the last Xbox One game, Minecraft. Those are always nice to pick up too for resale value type of thing. So just kind of cleaning those up out of the way a little bit. I will start for this is the stuff going into the collection. We'll start with a little bit bigger, bulkier stuff so that it's a little bit easier to kind of go through the games here. Talking about the Family Pathways road trip that I mentioned earlier, and the PS3 games that I picked up, and the original NES game, the Top Gun game. At the same store, I did pick up a receiver, and I can't remember what it's called. I might actually say it on here. NES Satellite Receiver. If I remember correctly, I have the other piece that's needed. I have to look in all my boxes and find it. Knowing my luck, I'll probably have another receiver. But I think if I remember correctly, I have the other part that's needed for this type of thing. So hopefully it all worked out correct, and that that's the one that I need. But anyway, it was a good deal. I think it was, like I was saying earlier, either 45 or 50% off. So pretty decent. And then the next item here is a Sega Genesis game that I picked up at a swap. I did a trade for, and I should have looked a little bit harder. This one doesn't have the manual. It is Pit Fighter, and then it does have a sticker on, I should say a piece of tape with the sticker on the label itself. So I should have looked at this condition a little bit better before making that trade. Sometimes I do just the trade to just kind of get rid of stuff and free up room and that kind of stuff. So That's what I will sometimes do. And then getting on to a couple of other items here. Like I said, the bigger stuff. First off is a Star Wars edition PSP. So it is white, as you can see. And it has Vader. I think it's on this side. Yep, over here. And this is in, I need to clean it up some. We'll see if it actually works. I don't think I have a correct battery to check it out. I picked this one up at a local store that I do a lot of kind of vending with and I do trades with. And he threw this in with a bundle of stuff that I kind of traded for. So kind of just an extra little add-on that I was pretty happy with. So I didn't have one of those for the collection. I do have, of course, some of the black ones. So that's pretty cool. And then back at the swap that I mentioned earlier, I did win a raffle, and included in that raffle was this Ego little carrying case. I believe it is for the PlayStation Portable, I think, if I remember correctly. I can't remember which one. Another PSP, but I think it's for a different one. Or it could be a Vita. Oh boy, it might be the Vita. Looks like it's kind of that shape, but anyway, just usually like to sometimes pick up, and especially I got it for free in the raffle, so that was pretty cool. And then the last kind of bigger item, well, I should say, bigger PlayStation item, I should say. So with this being November, there was a lot of like sales for the holiday season, and I did pick up a gray DualSense PlayStation 5 controller, brand new. They had these on sale, and so it was this is probably my favorite color that I've seen in the stores and everything, so had to pick that up. And then just a few more larger items here that I'll grab. I think I mentioned it before. I do collect amiibos. I do kind of collect Skylanders too, but like I was saying, that's not as not people aren't as interested in Skylanders versus amiibo. So, but I did pick up some amiibo. One of them is Goomba, and then Sora, which I thought I had gotten earlier, but I think it was a different Kingdom Hearts character. And then Koopa Troopa was the last one. All right, and getting into the games here then, and I'll actually just I'll start with Nintendo. It's kind of here right in front of me. So first off is NBA featuring Kobe Bryant, or NBA 3-on-3 featuring Kobe Bryant for the Nintendo Game Boy. Not quite sure if that focused or not. And then I did pick up an NES game, Wheel of Fortune, with featuring Vanna White. Earlier with that receiver that I mentioned, I did also get the manual for the satellite, so that was pretty sweet. And then in the same little bag was a manual for a control deck. So can't remember if I know I have a brand new, essentially sealed control deck, but I don't remember if I have any other box control decks, and if I don't, hopefully I need the manual for it. Or if I do, I should say, hopefully I need the manual for it. And let's see, just kind of cleaning up a little bit here. All right, and then let's see here. So I will go with the DS, and then 3DS, and then the consoles. First one, not that big of a game, but it is sealed, and that's Guinness World Records, the video game. Did pick that one up here in Minnesota. Oh, at a Family Pathways, but I don't think I got any percentage off because it had a white label on it, which they did not have any percentages off. So I believe that was like $10, but it is worth more than that, and I'm sure if anything it'll just go up in price, especially with it being sealed. And then I did pick up a PAL version, I believe this is PAL, of Europe, of G-Force. And I don't think I have any other PAL games in my collection, and as you can possibly see, the cases are bigger for the European PAL versions, which I think is kind of interesting. So just thought it was cool. I usually pick up PAL stuff or other country stuff if I find them at, you know, thrift stores or garage sales type of thing, but if I'm not paying too much for them. So I do have a small PS2 that's probably my biggest kind of collection of PAL stuff is PS2. I think have a couple of Wii games that are Japanese, so may have to do maybe just like a little short with all my out of the US games that I have in my collection. So maybe I'll do that in between some of these videos or something like that. So, all right, 3DS game, and that's Turbo. It's too bad it wasn't for the Wii U because, you know, that's an expensive game, or at least it used to be. I think it's kind of come down a little bit in price, but still cool to get some 3DS games that I needed for the collection. All right, and getting into more of the home consoles, it looks like I did not add any original NES, Super Nintendo, or and N64 games, but I do have a few GameCube, and then of course some Wii, and I don't think I have any Wii U, but then I do have some Switch. So first one here, Pac-Man Fever, Swingers Golf, and I cannot recall where I picked. I think some of these I did pick up at a swap in like a bargain bin. Pretty sure that's Swingers Golf, and I think this next one, Frogger Ancient Shadow, was in one of those bargain bins, you know, like 2 for $5 or 4 for $10, or sometimes I think that vendor will even drop it to even a better deal type of thing just to sell stuff. I think this next one was also from that same vendor, Medal of Honor European Assault. Just nice filler titles to kind of further the collection along. And then a player's choice of SpongeBob SquarePants. Oh, and then the last one, I did pick this one up here at a place called Unique. Was this one in I can't recall. No, I think this one... Boy. No, I think this one was over in New York, if I remember correctly, and that's Intellivision Lives, or Lives. Intellivision Lives. Lives makes no sense. Alright, and then getting into the Wii games here, yeah, and I don't have any Wii U games or anything like that. But starting off here is Rock Band Metal Track Pack. And then a sealed copy of Blazing Angels Squadrons of World War II. And then I did pick up this next game. It is a Japanese game, and this is from a friend of mine, Rolling Retro on YouTube. He did do a game room tour of mine, and then that kind of kicked off my YouTube channel. And some of, actually this wall behind me wouldn't have been up when he did that. But anyway, he was trying to just sell these on, I think Facebook, wasn't getting anybody reaching out to buy it, and so he gave me a better deal than what he was going to get on Facebook. So game that I got from him, Crazy Climber Wii. Like I said, it's a Japanese version. I don't think that actually came out in the US, if I remember correctly. And the next one here is Family Feud 2012 edition. Did get this one for free from a actually mentioned him earlier, from a kind of a business friend of mine that we do vending events. And then let's see, next one here is NBA 2K10. If I remember correctly, I didn't have the slip cover. Next one is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And then a sealed one, Gold's Gym Cardio Workout. Nothing too crazy there. And then the last few, I can't recall where I picked up. Beach Fun Summer Challenge. Puzzle Quest Challenge of the Warlords. Pac-Man Party. And then Monster Trucks Mayhem. Boy, that one seems light. It's just a lighter case. Alright, and getting into the Nintendo Switch real quick here. All of these, except for one, which I'm kind of disappointed in that. All of these games are considered new, and you'll see why I put up the air quotes at the very end. I'll leave it till the end to talk about it a little bit. But all the rest of these are in protective cases, so that means that they were bought brand new from Target or Walmart, or I don't buy too many new games at GameStop, because I usually don't get it for less than what it's going for as far as value. So Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and that's a remastered version. Hotel Transylvania. Kind of surprised I didn't have this one, which it was on sale before the holidays. Pikmin 4. Usually pick up those Pikmin games. Wildermyth, or Wildermyth. Alright, here's Cobra Kai 2 Dojo's Rising. That was earlier in the video. And then I did pick up Mario and Luigi Brothership. That'll be fun to keep in the brand new. And then I'm surprised I never had this one, Everybody 1-2 Switch. And then a Haunted House. I believe this one was on Target, in Target on sale, if I remember correctly, Haunted House. And I know this one was for sure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. So that was a sale at Target. And then I did pick up Super Mario Party Jamboree. Of course, that's a release. Now, this last one here, I did kind of laugh about earlier with putting up the air quotes as far as new. I shouldn't have actually purchased it because it doesn't have the seal around it, the plastic. But this is one of the few times that I did pick up a game at GameStop, and it was considered new. But the thing about it was when I got it, it didn't have the plastic on it. And that's the Final Fantasy collection. And as you can see, it opens up. It does have the little sticker sheet and everything, but I was kind of disappointed that it didn't have the actual plastic. With it being considered new, it was more expensive, and then of course it wasn't, to me, correctly new type of thing. So I was disappointing, but I just let it go through because I know it's kind of expensive anyway. I would like to kind of be able to just sit down and play any one of those Final Fantasy games on the Switch. So it is nice to have it open, but I did pay up a lot as far as having an open copy that I usually don't like to pay up for, type of thing. So anyway, just move on here to the PlayStation console. I do have, I think, one for every system, at least one for every system, I should say. These next games here I did pick up out in New York on my trip that I mentioned earlier. First one is Madden 98. Unfortunately, these are all sports titles. NBA Shootout 98. And then World Cup 98. So those are all at a thrift store, so I got them for good deal. And so just kind of shelf filler to throw around the collection. And then PS2. Don't recall where I got all of these. First one here is Outlaw Volleyball Remixed. Capcom vs. SNK2, Mark of the Millennium. And I think this one has a little bit of value, and I can't recall where I picked this one up. I want to say it was actually at Another Man's Treasure, if I remember correctly. Next one here is Music Maker Deluxe Edition. Music Generator 2, or MTV Music Generator 2. Digital Hits Factory. Guessing all these were probably all at the same place. And then Shrek Super Slam. Never tried any of those Shrek games. I wonder if they're any good. You have to let me know down in the comments if any of you have played any of these Shrek games and if they're any good. Alright, PlayStation 3. It looks like I have the most of any system for the PlayStation 3. Starting off with Formula 1 2012. Unfortunately, this is not one of those expensive Formula 1 games, but still need it for the collection. Buzz Quiz World. Those, I think, usually come with little buzzers that you need. I think I have maybe one or two of those complete and brand new in, encased in the plastic type of thing, but I think it's for the PlayStation 2 if I remember correctly. And then getting into some more here, Sniper Elite V2 or version 2, I'm guessing. A little bit of sticker residue that I need to take care of. Formula One 2011, and then Brunswick Bowling, Watch Dogs, Cabela's Survival Shadows of Katmai, Singularity, Rock Band Metal Track Pack. I think I got that on the Wii if I remember correctly. Sniper Ghost Warrior, Rocksmith 2014 edition. I think there's like a 2012, 13, and 14 editions if I remember correctly. Sniper 2, Complete Experience Watchman, The End Is Nigh. Sports Champions 2, Operation Flashpoint Red River. I think that one holds a little bit of value if I remember correctly. Heroes Over Europe. I had that in another. I think that might have also been on the Wii as well. Fight Night Champion. A little bit more sticker residue that I need to take care of. Elder Scrolls 4 Shivering Isles. Expansion pack for Oblivion. Apache Air Assault. Karaoke Revolution. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2011. And then, surprised I didn't have this one, Burnout Paradise. Alright, getting to the last couple of stacks here. Hopefully this isn't too long. PlayStation 4 games to start with here. NHL 16. Heavy Rain Beyond Two Souls collection. I want to say I picked this one up at a GameStop because those collections usually aren't very common, and so I usually will pick them up when I find them, even if I have to pay up for them a little bit. Usually when I buy stuff at GameStop, I've mentioned this in other videos, I typically will buy stuff when they're on like a sale, like buy 2 get 1 free, or buy 4 for $20 for a certain amount under type of thing. So I usually don't pay full value for them when I'm picking them up at GameStop, unless it's, of course, the Final Fantasy collection that I mentioned earlier. So, last couple of PlayStation 4 games. This last, I'll just go this one first. Mortal Shell, that was also at a GameStop. Might have even been the same time when I picked up Heavy Rain. And then this last one is Sealed, and I can't recall where I picked it up, and it's Aliens Fireteam Elite. Alright, and then getting on to the PlayStation 5 games, like Unmanned Dead? Wanted, I think Wanted Dead. It's hard to read that, that font. I think it's Wanted Dead for PlayStation 5. And then Day 1 Edition Outriders, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Destroy All Humans Reprobed. And then I did, of course, pick up Astrobot. And surprisingly, I didn't have this one yet, Stray. I think a majority of these I did pick up, they were on sale or clearance. I think this next one was on clearance. Stellar Blade, which I thought was very strange because that was such a newer game. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection, which I must have had that on a different system because I do remember purchasing that game previously, but I must not have had it for the PS5. And then I did pick up Sandland. And then last one here is Silent Hill 2. All right, and on to Xbox, the last console here. First off, I do have a few going into the original Xbox collection. As many of you know, I am focusing on that right now. So it's actually one of the, well, it is actually the least amount of games for the system. But it's getting harder and harder to find stuff that I need because I'm getting such closer to the full collection. I want to say I'm getting close to 80% of the collection if you take out Platinum Hits. No, I'm sorry. If you keep in Platinum Hits, I'm getting close to 80%. If you take Platinum Hits out, it's more like 87 or 88% if I remember correctly. So getting there. And like I said, it's getting harder and harder to find. So I, of course, have a decent stack here. I actually just picked up some more, I think 3 or 4 more yesterday when I was out thrifting. So I picked them up wherever I can find them. In fact, yesterday I picked them up at a half-price books, which I normally do not shop at because they're usually expensive, right at or even sometimes above market value. Games I picked up yesterday were a little bit under market value, which was kind of surprising. But anyway, back to the games here. Time Splitters Future Perfect. Sid Meier's Pirates Live the Life. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which I think I have this game. I think there's other versions if I remember correctly. And I think some of the other versions have specific, or maybe, oh no, it's a different one, I'm sorry. It's Deception that has character kind of collection, special edition type things. But Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I believe I picked this one up at a game store over in Isanti called Gamers Row. It's not very known, but it's a guy that does a video game store essentially on the weekends because he has a normal 9-to-5 job during the week. And so I've started to go there quite a few times, especially if I'm in the neighborhood and if I have stuff to trade in. I think I did trade in some stuff for this Armageddon. In fact, yes, I did. I picked up some other stuff while I was out thrifting, and I was close to that store, so that I brought that stuff to get traded into him. And so I essentially got this for the amount of like 3 or 4 other titles that I picked up at a thrift store, so I didn't spend a whole ton of it. This, I think Mortal Kombat Armageddon is a little bit more pricier, and so I want to say it's $40, and I probably paid like, I don't know, 10, 20, maybe $15 for that game because of what I paid for and then traded to Gamers Row. And then, okay, getting on to the next games here, Nickelodeon Party Blast. And then I know the last 2 non-platinum hits games that I picked up were from that swap that I mentioned earlier. The King of Fighters 2003 and the King of Fighters 2002. It's like a combo pack. And then a pretty expensive one, which was priced even higher, but then when I looked at it and then I looked up to see how much it was worth and if I needed it for the collection, I was putting it back and the guy was like, oh, well, is that maybe, why aren't you buying it, essentially? And I didn't see it, but he kind of looked it up and was like, oh, I should probably mark that down lower because, the value drops a little bit. And so I asked, well, what are you going to price it at? And he said, I can't remember, $60, I want to say. And it was either 60 or 70. And I said, okay, I'll buy it then. You don't even need to sticker it. And that one is Crimson Sea. And then the last one, Platinum Hits version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So that's it for the original Xbox. I'm getting into the 360 now. Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising. And there was, I think, another one on the PS3 that I picked up that was, I think, similar to that. Minecraft Story Mode, The Complete Adventure. I think that one's worth a little bit. Alpha Protocol, The Espionage RPG. Kind of interesting looking. Port Royale 3, Pirates and Merchants. John Lamu Rugby Challenge. This is actually a little bit more expensive sports title. And I think it's just because it's not very popular, and so there aren't very many copies out there. Need for Speed The Rivals. I think I have this already, but it was the complete edition or something like that, so I needed the normal everyday edition, essentially. And Madagascar Escape to Africa. And the last one here is Zoo Tycoon. Alright, last system, well, kind of systems, I should say, because it encompasses multiple systems in a way, and that's the Xbox One. So, first one off is Dragonfall 2 Deluxe Edition, Rust Console Edition, And then this one I know I did pick up at a GameStop, and that is the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And that comes in like a slipcover and a steelbook. And I figured this one would be a little bit harder to find in the future, so that's why I picked it up. This one I picked up at a Family Pathways, and it's a FIFA 21, and that's sealed. NASCAR Arcade Rush sealed. NASCAR 21 Ignition sealed, Day 1 edition. MX vs. ATV All Out 2020 Pro Nationals edition. And so those were, as you could probably maybe see, those were all sealed. And then Just Dance 2016. And then I think I just had them kind of together here. I have 2 copies of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition. So one of them will be going into the collection, and it's quite possible that the other one might as well. I'll show you. So this one is sealed. It is in the plastic protector that I usually use for sealed games. The second one has a rip in the seal, so I'm contemplating just opening it up and having it an open copy for my collection, just because that rip on the seal is, no one's going to essentially want to buy it with that on there, especially if they're a collector. So I'm thinking, and I probably will just open that up and have an open copy, because I don't have an actual just open copy. I have just the sealed copies. And then last game here is Star Wars Outlaws. And this one, I think, does this have a slipcover? No, this is actually, I remember how I got this. So it is still sealed, but this is a pre-order bonus for this game. And I can't remember what system it's for. Maybe it doesn't even designate a system. But what it is it was a pre-order bonus, I want to say, when you ordered this game at Target. And I was buying, I don't think I was even buying this game, but I was buying other games, and the employee was like, oh, do you want one of these? And I was like, oh, sure. And then they're like, oh, well, do you want one of these as well? And I was like, oh, sure. So he threw those in. Of course, they were free because they're pre-order bonuses. And this was actually, because the last game there was a seal case. This is a magnet, and it was stuck to the steel case. So this is a Mario and Luigi Brothership pre-order bonus that I got as well too. So, and of course I didn't pre-order them. I just usually pick them up. So, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Please like this video. It certainly helps the channel grow and get some more views out there. Please comment down below any game that you think that I should play. And if you, what did I ask earlier? Boy, I don't even remember. But anyway, hopefully this wasn't too long. Thanks for sticking around. Please subscribe as well. Comment down below maybe what game you thought was pretty cool that I picked up. Maybe talk a little bit about the Dino Crisis that I picked up earlier. I thought that was pretty awesome, picking it up at a Goodwill for $1.50 plus tax, of course. And then, yeah, please comment, share this video if you are willing to. And thank you guys for sticking around, and God bless.